On December 30th, 1916, at the Moika Palace in St. Petersburg, Russian nobles executed an assassination plot echoing through a century of history. Their target was Grigori Rasputin. He was a Siberian mystic who had acquired immense, highly controversial influence over the Russian royal family. The man leading the plot to kill him was Prince Felix Yusupov, a member of the high aristocracy and one of the wealthiest individuals in the entire Russian Empire. According to the official story, Yusupov lured Rasputin into his cellar and fed him pastries laced with enough potassium cyanide to drop a horse. Rasputin ate them with a smile. Panicked, Yusupov shot him in the chest. A doctor pronounced him dead, but Rasputin suddenly opened his eyes, attacked his assassins, and sprinted out into the snow. The noble shot him again, beat him, and dumped him into the frozen river. This specific sequence of brutal, escalating violence birthed the ultimate true crime legend, the indestructible supernatural monster. There is a massive structural flaw in that history. Almost every terrifying detail of the Mad Monk legend originates from the memoirs of the murderer himself. Yusupov was a highly unreliable narrator. Fleeing the Russian Revolution and living in exile, he used the narrative of a heroic struggle against a demonic entity to secure book sales and insulate himself from the legal reality of shooting an unarmed peasant. Finding the truth requires analyzing Yusupov's memoirs as an active crime scene cover-up rather than a historical record. When the ice broke and Rasputin's body was pulled from the river, Professor Dmitry Kosaratov performed the official autopsy. His forensic findings immediately dismantled the ghost story. Kosaratov ran chemical analyses on Rasputin's stomach contents and found 0 traces of cyanide. Furthermore, Rasputin's own daughter, Maria, later testified that her father actively despised sweet foods and would never have eaten the pastries in the first place. The professor then examined the lungs and found no water inside them. Rasputin did not draw a single breath while submerged in the icy river. He was already dead before his body went over the bridge. The physical evidence leaves no room for a superhuman struggle or mystical resilience. The mythological monster was a biological fiction. The autopsy documented 3 distinct gunshot wounds, 1 to the chest, 1 to the back, and a final fatal shot directly to the center of the forehead. This autopsy schematic isolates the fatal headshot. A tight abrasion ring indicates a contact injury. The weapon was pressed directly against his skin. While the first bullets came from pocket pistols, this fatal round was entirely different, a heavy, lead, non-jacketed bullet. Forensic experts agree that this specific bullet is a perfect match for a heavy-caliber British-made weapon, the .455 Webley revolver. The forensic evidence points to a systematic execution at point-blank range, performed with a foreign weapon while Rasputin lay helpless. Records confirmed that Oswald Rayner was at the Moika Palace on the night of the murder. A British secret intelligence agent and close friend of Prince Yusupov, Rayner was standardly issued the .455 Webley, the exact weapon required to produce the forensic anomalies found in the skull. To understand why a British agent would assassinate a Russian mystic, we have to look away from the palace basement and look at the brutal Eastern Front of World War I. The Russian military was suffering massive defeats. British intelligence possessed credible fears that the Tsarina, heavily influenced by Rasputin's pacifying advice, was going to convince the Tsar to broker a separate peace treaty with Germany. This map visualizes the military math the Allies were facing. If Russia withdrew from the conflict, Germany would immediately transfer 350,000 troops off the eastern border and hurl them directly into the Western Front. That sudden influx of manpower threatened to crush the Allied forces. The British Empire viewed Rasputin as a top-tier national security threat, tracking him under the MI6 codename Dark Forces. When the Russian nobles botched the initial assassination attempt in the basement, Rayner stepped out of the shadows. He leveled his heavy service revolver at the target and eliminated the threat. The British government rapidly buried the evidence. Prime Minister David Lloyd George explicitly ordered all intelligence files containing Oswald Rayner's name to be purged from the official record. But Rayner kept one piece of physical evidence. For the rest of his life, he wore a custom-made ring. Mounted in the center of the silver band was the flattened lead bullet pulled from Rasputin's skull. The Mad Monk myth provided a convenient cover for a professional espionage operation. Global geopolitics effectively silenced the mystic, demonstrating how history is frequently written by those clearing the path for their own survival.